Okay, we can record it. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. And I want to thank Michelle for providing us with this platform for our meeting. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
So, okay, let's call, we're going to call the meeting to order. And I sent out the minutes of the March 26th meeting. And hopefully everybody got it. Those were taken by Mike. Thank you, Mike, for
You're
doing
welcome.
that. If there are no corrections, any corrections on those? Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of March 26th?
I move.
Okay.
Second.
Who was that moved that?
I move.
Okay,
Richard.
that was Richard San. I'm going to do this for the recording. And can I get a second on that?
Second, Sharon.
Okay, that's Sharon Wiseman, seconded. So it's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of March 26th. Any objections? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay. Financial report, Mike Vaughn, treasurer. Well, I think Mike sent that out to us as well.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. We currently have $4,023.91 in the treasury. The only payment this quarter was for Pinpoint Web, $150, GoDaddy, $31.16, reimbursement for the port invitations and postage for the canceled port tour for $107, and we renewed the post office box for $75. We had bank charges of $60. I talked to the bank, and because of we've dropped below our $5,000 threshold, there's a $20 a month charge. So I'm trying to get them to waive that, but no luck so far. We received the dues payments from Bacola, and as of May 1st, everybody is paid up for 2019-2020 dues, and the new year starts in what, 20 days?
July 1.
So,
My first, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, that's where we stand at the moment.
Okay. Any questions on the report?
No.
I just want to say that any funds that we spent for the port tour are not lost, because we're going to still use all of the, well, maybe we can't because the invitations have another date on them, don't they?
Yeah.
I just have one.
Huh?
I just have one comment, Mike.
Mhm.
On the letterhead here, you list every city name, but you miss Phnom Penh.
Listen,
That's an old letterhead. I just
yeah.
was in my
Are
computer.
you sending something? Are you sending a message?
I sent him current newsletter. Did you get that, Mike?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay. But for some reason, he loves that, Richard. He
Yes.
likes that.
Yeah, I know. I have noticed.
So, okay. And then the other thing on the report was that there was something else. About the fee, the $20 a month fee.
Right.
Now, Mombasa had the same issue, and we talked to the bank. We demanded some sort of solution, and I don't know if this will work for us. Maybe at least until we get the funds. But we switched to a business savings account that allows us to do 6 transactions a month. 6,
Oh,
you know,
really?
we can do checks or bill pay a month, and there's no charge. In fact, we get interest.
Let me talk to him about that. I spoke to one of the officers, and they referred me, of course, to another officer who's not available. So I'll check on
They
that.
won't waive
That's a
it.
good idea.
Yeah, we couldn't get our bank. We bank with Citibank. We could not get them to waive it. But
Yeah.
they do have that option. You can go to a savings. And since we don't do that many transactions, it might work for us.
Yeah, let me check on that.
Okay, all right. Did we approve the report? No. Can I get a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
I do.
Okay,
Richard.
that was Richard San. Can I get a second on that?
I second it.
Okay, that was Jeet. It's been moved and seconded that treasurer's report be approved as submitted. There being no For the discussions, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Huh? What was
That
that?
was a background noise.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think there was background noise on Lean's
Hi,
phone.
Anya. There she is. How are you? Okay. Okay, ready for the my report, my president's report. First of all, let me just say I sent the bylaws out again. We've been working on the bylaws for a while. They seem to be completed, but I saw another typo today. But what we need to do, Sharon has gone through these, I have gone through these, but we need more eyes on the bylaws. So what we've done is we've changed the bylaws to incorporate our new committee, to change those things that conflicted with our new structure, and which in turn required us to change some other things. So we just want to make sure that everything is coordinated, nothing is contradictory, and that everything supports everything else. And once you make a change one place, there could be 3 places that you need to change. So we need new eyes on this. And I would like to have a committee, or at least 2 or 3 people that would agree to go through this, make any changes, any more redactions that need to be done, so that we can finalize this and publish it as our amended bylaws.
I'd be happy to sit on, I don't know, I would be happy to read them
Okay,
all.
little task force, okay. Anybody else?
I would be willing to read through it. I don't think I would have any knowledge about it, but I
That's
could
probably
read it.
good.
I could read it and see if it makes sense to somebody who doesn't know anything.
Well,
Fresh
that
mind.
helps, because if you don't understand it,
Right.
I mean, it should be clear. And if
Right.
it's not, then we need to know that too. So if you
Yeah, so
would,
I'm happy
we
to
would
read
love to
through
have, excellent, totally no knowledge of anything, but yes.
Right.
Perfect. Okay, so that's Diane and Cynthia. Can we get one more person to participate in that? No?
I do.
Okay, Richard, great. Okay, you've got the bylaws. All you need to do is just read through them. Email us or
Okay.
make those changes on it yourself, or questions that you might have, and then submit it. And I think we can get to a final from there.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got Diane, Cynthia, and Richard that are gonna do that. And you got 3 months to do it, because we'll do this at our meeting at our September meeting.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, appreciate that. Second thing is the website. We have a web manager now. We have a web, whatever that you call it, webmaster. And I have been working with him, trying to get him in a position to help our committees. He's ready. I've done all the acknowledgments and verifications that I need to do for the organization, for him to work with each individual committee to get a page on the SCLB website. Even if you have a website, Yukaichi, where's Mike? Even if you have a website, we would like for you to have a page with a link to your website on the SCLB website. And if you don't have a website, the committee does not, then this is a presence for you. This is an opportunity to have some social media presence. So, nobody's called him. I sent out the things saying, hey guys, we're ready for this. And he emailed me the other day, he says, nobody's called me. Nobody wants to do this. So we need to do that. Mombasa, we really need to do it. Rosarito, I've talked to both of you about getting a presence on the website. So let's see if we can get that done. Because I think once we get 1 or 2 committees to do it, other committees are going to want to do it. Okay? So can we get that going? Richard, you got
I have only, we used to have a website, but after I take leave for a few years, then it's gone. I have only page. We're very Facebook.
Yeah,
we-
but let's do this. Then let's publish your page on the website as well.
No, yes, I can do that. Yes, we do have a lot of things on there. Okay.
Good.
So I will keep sending you. Just tell me how many do you want? I have a lot.
No, I gave you the webmasters. I'll send it out
just
again.
download it.
His
Okay.
contact information. He's going to do everything. He'll design it.
Fantastic.
He'll post it. He'll put it up.
Thank
And
you.
any links that you want on the webpage, he can make those happen as well.
That's great. We need that.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. So let's get it going, guys. We want that presence. The charitable solicitation permit for this year is gone. It's defunct. We're not going to do anything for the rest of the year anyway. So there are no activities planned, and it was a big debacle by the time we didn't get it. Now, for those of you who don't know, in order to solicit funds, we need the city to approve us to solicit funds as a charitable organization, and we apply for that permit every year. The police department handles it. They give it to us every year. We pay, I think it's $40. And it just makes sure that we're legal in going out and soliciting funds. It's not, the police department was not interested in doing any of this. I mean, they had other things to do. And by the time we got it, COVID-19 was here. And so, I figured there's no need to paying $40 for stuff we're not going to use. So we'll gear up for next year. If that's okay with everybody. We're not going to get that permit this year. And then the last thing I want to mention is the Sister Cities International Conference, which is going to be held virtually July 8th through 10th. Now, this is a conference that, I push all the time. We need to spend money to send people because it's very important to have those connections, not only with the national organization, but with international organizations as well. And a lot of your counterparts from your sister cities go to this conference every year. And if we're not there, then that means we miss that opportunity to connect. So this year, obviously, it's going to be virtual. There's no registration fees, so we can all go if we want to. They don't have any details out yet, but those should be coming out pretty soon. I'm sure that they have already contracted with speakers. They usually have excellent speakers and excellent breakout sessions. So we will get the benefit of that if those speakers agree to participate virtually, and I'm sure I don't see why they wouldn't. So I'm going to send you all the information when we get it. And
The baby. I was looking for the baby who's gone. I wanted to see Anya's the baby.
The who?
Never mind.
Oh, the baby, Anya's baby?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There. Oh, both and the little girl. Oh my goodness. Oh, beautiful.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen her kid. Yeah, hi.
Oh.
Hi.
Oh, yes, sweet.
Okay, so that's my report. Let's go with the Sister City Friendship Reports. Bacolod is not here. And just let me say that Bacolod is still pending as a sister city only because I have not taken it off the agenda because the board has not authorized me to do so. I would love to take it off, but it is not going to go anywhere, I don't think. But it's up to the board. You approved the application, we sent it forward to the mayor's office. It didn't go anywhere. And we've talked about this. Oh, Karen, yes.
I would suggest that we maybe table that for this time.
Okay.
For those of you who are not aware, there was not action on this item by the city council just because of the situation with the mayor of Bacolod. It was the feeling among many on the now 11th floor, formerly the 14th floor, that, if you Google Bacolod, one of the first things that will show up is that their mayor is under indictment. And we don't want that to be the story when we have a new sister city. And so I would, unless people have a different or better idea, I would suggest that we table this for now and bring it back when the situation with the mayor has changed.
Well, I have to add something to that. That may be the primary reason from the mayor's office. The city council, I think, has a little different agenda because Councilman,
Al Austin.
no, second district. I mean,
thought
seventh
Uranga.
district.
Councilmember Uranga.
Councilman Uranga
Uranga.
stepped up and said, I want to sponsor this Sister City application. He actually wrote the city council agenda item and was going to sponsor it. And then all of a sudden, he pulled away from it. And it was my understanding, I could have been wrong information, my understanding that it was because there was still a faction in the Filipino community that felt that they were not included in this effort. And I think the last thing anybody wants is if something like this goes to council and have somebody come up and talk against it. Because it's not supposed to be controversial. It's supposed to be a win-win for everybody. So I think that's part of it, Sharon, is that Bacolod hasn't done the work they need to do to eliminate whatever it is the problem is in the Filipino community. So, but I agree, let's table it, yeah. We're not gonna resolve it.
I move that we table the consideration of Bacolod until such time as they come to us with a unified application.
Okay. Anybody want to second that?
I second
Okay.
that.
Discussion?
Well, I'm the only one that's been there, I think, at the whole group. And my wife and I went there with Mary Barton and her husband and Peter. And our experience was exquisite. We were treated so grandly and with such love and such wonder. So it saddens, I think, Rita and I, and probably even Mary and her husband, that this has not been somehow finalized and that there hasn't been somehow found a solution to this.
Yeah,
That's
it
my
saddens
own
me
feelings.
too. Yeah.
Phyllis, is there any way that we all can help Richard?
I'm sorry?
Is there any way that we can help?
Well,
We
maybe you can reach out to Peter. I have tried. I have reached out to him. I agreed to meet with the committee. I agreed to talk to him about activities that the committee could have to be inclusive. But I haven't been asked to, do those things. I did offer, but maybe if some of the peers of his group, the committees offer, it might be different. The part of the problem is that none of their board members, their executive board members, are from Long Beach. They're all from. He lives in. I don't know.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's part of the perception of exclusion. So there's some things that need to be worked on, and I think I've been specific about those, but nothing's happened. So I don't know.
And perhaps Peter is frustrated too at the process.
I'm sure he is.
And I think he's probably kind of stepped back. By the way, my name isn't Rita Powell. That's my wife.
Yeah.
But,
I thought you changed your name.
I thought I would clarify that, but she went to Bacolod too. So at any rate, I just, like I said, our experience was great. They treated us so grandly, and I think their desire is somehow in their hearts is still to make this happen someday, somehow. So
Listen, Bacolod has been the actual city, the city of Bacolod. I think they've done an excellent job of letting us know how wonderful how much they want this relationship, and how they're ready to, do whatever is necessary. It's the group here. That's the problem. It's not Bacolod. It's the work that's being done here that needs to be stepped up. And I think our guidelines are very clear. Our guidelines for becoming a sister city, they state exactly what you need to do.
But are they not a friendship city, or are they a sister city?
They are a friendship city.
Friendship.
Okay. Which I think the rules and regulations are a little simpler, aren't they, or not?
Well, but they want to be a sister city.
They want to
the
be.
application is for sister city, not friendship.
That's true.
Yeah. So we'll table this. Oh, we didn't vote yet, did we? Yeah, that was just.
Yep.
Did we vote?
We not vote yet.
Okay.
There's a discussion
So,
here.
any more discussion? Okay, so there being none, all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, the
May I-
ayes have it. We
May
will
I-
table
may I
that.
abstain? Can I abstain?
I would like to abstain. I don't know, have enough background to make an
Yes.
informed decision.
And I would as well.
Okay, that's fine.
2
Okay,
abstains.
yeah, we still have enough for the motion to pass. Okay. Okay, Mombasa. Michelle, welcome.
Yes, thank
Thank
you. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
So what we do at this point in time is we talk about, I should explain to him, what our committees are doing, what kinds of
Yes.
plans we have. So you want to, is there anything you want to share with us?
Absolutely. What we are doing is we are reconstituting several things. We are connecting with a nonprofit out there so that we can work in a more in a much easier way. What we also did is we requested to be endorsed, whatever we are doing, to be endorsed by the former Prime Minister of the country, and that has happened, which makes things a lot easier because now the governor of Mombasa becomes, it becomes a lot easier to get anything going on there. At the same time, because one of the goals that we have is to start doing trade missions back and forth. If it wasn't for COVID, we wanted to, we would have started to do that. With that endorsement, that gives us a lot of leverage and a lot of connections within the government to make it happen, both here and there. Another thing that we've done is we've built a working relationship with several organizations here. We're working with GoBiz now from the governor's office. We are working with the Chamber of Commerce in LA. We are working towards getting a way to be connected with the Chamber of Commerce in Long Beach. We're also working with the US Africa Chamber of Commerce so that when we are ready to do these events, we have all these people that we can connect with to be able to do those things. In the meantime, we're also planning to do cultural events. We are looking at how best we can do that under this environment. Otherwise, we do have a lot of things in the pipeline that we are working on, and we have a trade. We want to go to Mombasa sometime next year, and we actually want to do some events here that will generate enough income that would enable the Mombasa sister city to pay for our members to go there.
Okay, and so any questions for Michelle?
A lot of works.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's just getting started. He's not burnt out yet.
Okay, don't. This is a fun group. If you feel like you're burnt out, you slow down. I'm supposed to be the youngest.
So true.
I know. And we invite all of you to go with us if we do that.
Yes, and I hope to get something accomplished before I get burnt out.
And I'm sure you can tell Michelle's focus is trade.
Yes.
So we've never had that focus before. So I'm really anxious
Great.
and excited about what the possibilities are. So thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Nam Pin.
Now, at the moment we have one program, is the scholarship program for the medical student in Phnom Penh. So we monitor them. We pretty close with them, and we also forgot to encourage them to also do volunteer. So volunteer, it's still new to them. So, but we pretty much on top in terms of the academic, because the sponsors are here. So they always connect to us. So we pretty much on them, encourage them to make sure that they pass exam. And he's pretty good. So he always let us know the exams coming in. He studies his best. He always send message to us. He's seen on the TV what America is going through. He thought that we have a civil war. Say no. It maybe look like that from the outside, but America is still the best country in the world. Because in a third world, when you have this kind of protests, of fire, it definitely is going to be a civil war, particularly where I'm from. So we monitor. So I also monitor. Also talk to a few people in the government, updating them about the COVID-19, how they were supposed to do. We share with them. And Cambodia has been blessed. So far there has been only less than 200 cases of COVID-19, and all of them cure 100%. No fatality. Wow. And so far, again, this is what the government reported. So that's what we've been doing back and forth. And here in Long Beach, as many of you know, that the Cambodia Town district has been hitting hard on May the 31st, Sunday. There's a looting, vandalisms, 25 businesses, majority are Cambodian, owns in Cambodia Town were looting, and one set on fire. So so we are trying to calm down the frustration, because this is the second time. We were here during the riot in 1992. It's spreading all the way to Long Beach. It's spreading all the way to that UCC building. I was there. I step on the second floor outside the balcony, look it up. So for me, it's a repeat. And some of the business owner, they were there too. So they say, how come, why is not the authority respond to us? I say, you know, do not blame on anybody. Nobody know. And the police, they pretty much have in downtowns. And again, we just had a virtual meeting with the mayor this morning, about an hour and a half. So that's what the Sister City is, what it is. We joined the cleanup. The community raised about $100,000 already to help those businesses with basic need, like replace glass windows, paint, buy some basic stuff. So that's what we want right now involved. We haven't done much nothing much planned besides just rebuild the community back again. And we keep sharing with our community that this is not about races. Don't think about that. It happens. And again, we live in a great city. We live in one of the best cities in the world. No matter who they said it, this is it. And we got to work with the city. And many frustration on that night. I know one close friend, he owned one of the largest jewelry shop. They came, they targeted him. He ended up to hire 40 private security with full arm to deter him.
I know the shop. I know who you're talking about.
Okay, you know.
Yeah.
The looter, they apparently they know, they're very organized. We look at the video, they very organized. They know they have the one lookout. They can hit maybe 5 to 10 minutes, but they came for his business, because if they could break it, that's millions. And they very dear to him. So he have 40 security with full arm. They still stop right there and shout at him. So we calm our community down. Satya, Mono, and I walking the next day, the lot of glass broken. We calm them down. We just say, look, you know, again, this is still the best city. There was no hidden agenda in the city, because they had their tie at downtown. And then they bring up, how come Belmont Shore they able to block? How come the big Bino they able to block the street the next couple of days? I say, I don't know. So that's why the mayor had a very tough time to answer a question this morning. But that's what the part of our organization right now. He refocused to rebuild our community right now. I'm sorry to share with you, but this is what we've been tied up.
You know, this is interesting because, and Sharon, you might want to, I know you're not in the mayor's office anymore, but maybe John needs to take a look. You know, when I was at the city, I did a lot of work with EDA, Economic Development Administration. There's not a lot of.
You were there, I think, Phyllis, right? I'm doing the 92 riot. And after that.
We got some money from EDA for that. Yes, and yes. But you know, I think especially for the minority community, the minority businesses in Long Beach, they're going to be hard pressed to come back from some of the activities that have happened. And EDA, I think, is going to put some money towards this. And I'm talking to some people there now, just people that I know, to see if something's possible to channel some money to Long Beach, deal with our minority business.
Let
You know,
us
a lot
know,
of them are
please,
going to
Phyllis.
disappear. They're not going to be able to make it through this.
Yes.
So, you know, I think John needs to have those conversations with Department of Commerce and EDA. They are, I mean, when you say minority business, now they're going to perk up. You know, they're going to say, what can we do? So I really think there's an opportunity that we shouldn't miss. And
Well,
if I
thank
find
you.
anything out through the
Please.
people that I know, I will certainly pass it on.
Please, thank you.
Any
We still love
questions?
Long Beach. Those are the know we love Long Beach.
Yes.
I'm actually in the mayor's office through the end of this month.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm sure the mayor told you that the city, as was mentioned, that they are trying to get CARES Act money to help our businesses that were looted. And if you haven't already been in touch with economic development, you can by calling 562-5704-BIZ, for biz. So give them a call if you haven't already talked to them.
Thank you.
And what any businesses that were looted, of course, they should be sure and file a report with the police department if they haven't already, so they have a record. So anyway.
Okay. Very good.
Sharon, if I may comment on the newsletter and the letter that the mayor puts out almost daily, it's excellent. And it's so informative, and it's been very inspiring and empowering, I think, to a lot of people.
Thank you.
If you're part of that, I just thank you. I mean, the letter is fabulous, and I get it every day and read it with joy and interest.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll let him know. Thank you.
Information is power, for sure. Well, and you're next, Richard. So.
Well, as you know,
Rosarito Beach.
go ahead. Okay, may I go? Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to announce Rosarito Beach.
Well, we were going down twice a month. I mean, fortunately with Rosarito, it's a 3-hour drive, and we were going down twice a month and visiting our house and working with the people in Rosarito for so, you know, almost so many years. And now we have not gone down since February because of the virus. So a majority of our work there was humanitarian work, bringing food and beans and rice and blankets and clothing and things, and we haven't been able to do that. So they're missing us, we're missing them. There's still a lot of need down there. The virus has hit Baja pretty bad as well. Tijuana, I think, very badly. So we're hoping to actually go down this coming Sunday for the first time since February and kind of scout around down there and see how we can help now and how we can kind of update the work we were doing. One of the good things that has happened though during this period is, I don't know how familiar you are with Rosarito, but there was a big 20th Century Fox studio there where they shot Titanic, and a lot of the shooting of the Titanic was done there, of the ship, and they did a replica of the ship. And the studio is still open now, although it's been taken over by a Mexican film company now. And next to the studio is an enormous arch that's probably 40 foot high that had completely deteriorated, and all the stucco had deteriorated. And it's all been restuccoed, and they have invited us to do a mural on the arch with Mexican artists and Baja artists and Long Beach artists. So somehow celebrating and honoring the work we've been doing, and certainly bring the artists from Long Beach down there to be involved with it and actually have a design. So I would love to have the Arts Council somehow involved with this. You know, as things open up and people are allowed to go to Mexico again, perhaps some artists that you could suggest could actually be involved with this. The mayor's office in Rosarito actually brought this to us, and they have a new mayor now. The second woman mayor in a row. They have a new mayor, and
So the concert pianist is no longer mayor?
No, and we were hoping to do a concert with her up here, and she's no longer the mayor.
Wow.
So they actually vote by party down there. So the new party came in, and she was a member of the old party. So when the new party comes in, they assign the mayor. That's how the politics are done. So at any rate, we have been invited to be part of this mural. It's a beautiful mural. I mean, a beautiful structure now, a large arch that actually, as you're going into Rosarito, it's like very large and kind of in your face, and would be a great opportunity for a mural on it. And that's about all I have to say. And we're hoping to go there on Sunday and kind of renew some of the work that we haven't been involved with since February.
Mhm.
Questions for Richard? Qingdao, Mary isn't here.
I could take,
So we'll go to Sochi.
well,
Anya.
I could tell you, but Qingdao
Oh,
is doing.
okay, Diane, yes.
Yeah, there is a project, the big project is a pen pal program between Long Beach and Qingdao, and it's gotten off to a very, very good start. We hired a young woman that works at Cal State Long Beach, and so she's kind of helping us along with that. And then I learned recently that Keithley Young and Logan has canceled or postponed everything until after the 4th of July. And I'm not even sure our annual meeting or annual luncheon, which is usually in late fall, whether it'll be open by then or not. So it's put a stop to everything. And maybe we could white out the invitations to the consuls, different consulates. I don't think so. Later.
Figure it out. I'm sure they'll understand. Yes.
Diane, can I ask you a question? If you're done. If you're not done, I'll wait.
No, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm finished.
So we got I don't know if you got an email, if anyone else got this email from the Falun Gong people about saying we should sever our relationship with that we should cancel the Qingdao sister city, which of course we have no intention of doing. But I didn't know if anyone else had received this email or responded before I respond to them.
What kind of email or letter is it, Sharon? I don't believe I seen something like that.
From a woman in the South Bay who's a member of Falun Gong.
Oh, Falun Gong, okay.
Yeah, which is a religious
Yes, cult.
organization that has, and I don't know the details, but they are persecuted by the Chinese government. I don't know, I mean, some people call them a cult. I really don't know. I know what I've read on the internet, which of course is unreliable, but I know that obviously our sister city organizations are the United States government and the Chinese government. And so I just didn't know if anyone else had heard from them and responded.
To my knowledge, we have not heard anything at all, but Mary would hear that and obviously would share it with all of us, but it's so touchy.
So was the premise then human rights? What was the?
Yes.
No question,
that the Chinese government is horrible in terms of human rights, and I don't think any of us would
So was the
disagree with
United
that.
States government.
Well, that's
We
true.
won't go there.
No, I didn't. I don't think we're as bad, but no, I get you.
I mean, everybody's
But I
got their
don't think-
issues. Yes.
But yeah, that's not the. It's not. This is not Sister Cities. Is not the United States government and the Chinese
That's
government.
right.
It's
That's
Well,
right.
it's Long Beach and Qingdao. So I just wanted to check in before I responded.
Interesting.
I think you might want to
Can I-
talk to Mary because I know that she's in contact with the consulate in Los Angeles and also in the municipal government in Qingdao, because it's still this way with Taiwan.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going to talk about that in a minute too with Min. I see he's on. But yeah, I think there are going to be issues there for sure. With Taiwan, not the same, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check with Mary.
No,
Thanks.
I hope you don't mind my grandchildren there. They want to join the call.
Yeah.
I say them Mary. Hello,
Oh,
grandchildren.
hi there. Hello. Hi.
something.
Sharon,
Oh,
just
that's
so
beautiful.
to Sharon's
So,
question, just so you
Diane,
know,
were you done? Are you
Yes.
done, Diane? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now Anya, Sochi.
I was, Phyllis, I was gonna say something
Anya, can you
about
hear me?
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry. Who
yeah.
was it that was talking?
Gee,
Gee, I was just gonna inform Sharon
You're
about
so
the
sweet.
Falun Gong that, we at Cal State Long Beach receive letters. They send opposition letters to pretty much any big initiatives that you get into, because
Yeah.
they oppose the Chinese government in multiple fronts. So I'm not
Yeah.
surprised that you receive that. It's a routine thing that
Is it?
you hear from them
Yeah.
if there is a major thing going on, and especially at this time there is relationship problem, and it may be just an opportunity, that hey, you should end this thing. So just so you know that it's not a new thing. They have been doing
Oh,
this for
okay.
many years. Yeah.
Oh,
many
yeah.
years.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, that's good to know. You just keep hammering that nail, huh? Okay, Anya, Sochi.
Yes. So yeah, we have quite a few updates. It's surprisingly, it's been a pretty busy time for us, even after the lockdown. Which, from the beginning, we kind of chose art and culture as our direction, just because we felt like it was a very neutral way of breaking stereotypes, exposing, and bringing both of our cultures together and uniting. So from the inception, once we took over, we really tried to focus on building those honest conversations between the two cities. And at the beginning of the lockdown, we started a cultural Russian literature book club. Which is between the currently it's only between the Long Beach members, Russian members, and the American members as well. But we are trying to explore a way to potentially do it with Sochi as well. So it would be, also through distance, through Zoom conversations and things like that. So that's been going on. It was, we have a lot of fun discussions. So that's been pretty interesting. Another thing that we're working on is the cultural exchange. So kids and children's education and, cultural exchange is another avenue that we're very passionate about. So we have a culture exchange project between Long Beach and Sochi, which is the theme is my hometown. So each, kids from different hometowns, Sochi and Long Beach, they draw pictures of favorite places in their hometown, and then we do this exchange. So we already have a great library of assets from Sochi that we received, beautiful paintings. And also we worked with the Stevenson Elementary School, and we collected during this, during the lockdown, we actually collected a bunch of beautiful paintings from the elementary school. And we actually received some really great feedback from both cities because, during this very hard time, it was a beautiful kind of activity for kids to stay connected with art and express themselves. So we're very excited, and we hope this project will become something that we do annually as well.
Fantastic.
Yes. So initially we were thinking to do an actual physical exhibit, but now we're kind of reconsidering maybe we can do something digitally as well, since all of our activities kind of transitioned online, and we have beautiful videos, footage. So we're potentially exploring that option as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so another thing that we've done is Sochi, they had their celebration, city celebration, and they asked us to create a video for them to just congratulate them, and, especially during this time, because usually they would do big citywide activities. This time they couldn't. So again, they thought that a video greetings would be something very nice to share. And we turned it around pretty quickly. And actually yesterday I woke up to the letter from a mayor thanking us for a very beautiful video that we, put together. So
Fantastic.
that was very nice. Another thing that we are working on, they ask us, they're gonna do a cultural exhibit, and they want regarding World War II. So they want to kind of represent their Twin City Long to have a representation there as well. So, you know, I reached out to Richard. We've had a couple of conversations. So potentially Historical Society is something that we want to, you know, get our hands on.
Anya, I'd like to also to say something about Open World. We did the Open World program for 8 years, and we thought the Open World program had died, and now, please say something about that.
Yeah, so this has been surprisingly busy year for us. So we also applied and got approved for the Open World delegation that was scheduled to be in September. And so far I haven't heard that was canceled or postponed, which I don't think it's going to be canceled, but I'm expecting it to be postponed, but I haven't heard yet. So far we're approved for a delegation in end of September as well.
For those that don't know, this is basically a Library of Congress sponsored exchange program between Russia and America, and actually some of the previous Soviet republics. And it went on for probably about, Diane was very involved. And it probably went on, Diane, probably for about 12 years.
Long time.
Thematic exchanges. I think the one we were most successful was with Women in Leadership when Beverly was the mayor. And I think we did probably 5 exchanges on Women in Leadership, bringing Long Beach women together with Sochi women. And it was all funded by Congress. It was a wonderful program to bring Russia and America together. And we thought it had been canceled. And Anya called me and said, no, it hasn't.
Oh my gosh, that's terrific.
So, and this was before the virus, so we'll see what will happen with the virus.
Well, before we get to Mike, I did want to mention that Diane was talking about Qingdao's Pen Pal program, and actually Michelle was very involved in getting a Kenyan student connected to in your Pen Pal program. So there's a Kenyan student now participating. And you know, that's an opportunity for all of our committees to find a student that would love to communicate with an American student about just anything. So we like the program for sure.
Yeah, that's
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's something actually we have discussed as well, just because again, you know, especially like students from Russia, they really want to practice the language. So I think this is something that will really help them to practice and to, you know, and so this is something we discussed. I would like to learn more, and if there's a way for us to, you know, to tap into that resource.
Yes. And Venice isn't here. That's Michael. And so Mike Vaughn, is Mike still on? Yeah, there you go. Yokkaichi, Japan.
Okay, we have finished the selection of the recent graduates from Cal State who have been chosen to be Yokkaichi English Fellows for 2 years. We just got the word last week. We're preparing them with some pre-travel work so they'll have a better understanding of the Japanese culture when they get there. But they'll be leaving Long Beach in late July to start teaching. As of this week, everything's still a go on everything. So that program worked very well this year. We have a total of 7 teachers over there now. Also this week, I got an email from the Yokkaichi Board of Education asking me to coordinate with Long Beach Unified to see about setting up a video letter program between classrooms in Yokkaichi and students in classrooms here. We've just started talking about it, so I don't know the full ramifications of it. I told them that right now we're out of session, but looking forward to the fall. So as I learn more about what their plan is, maybe I can talk to Cynthia and we can get something set up. We've had, with our teachers in the classroom in Yokkaichi, it sort of adds an extra dimension, I think. So we'll see what their plan is and go from there.
Okay.
But other than that, everything else is on hold for Yokkaichi.
Right. Okay.
May I ask about that program? That sounds very interesting. How does it work?
You know,
something
that's what we're waiting to hear from now, is how we're going to function it. The problem, I assumed it'd be a Zoom type chat program, but then we're about 10 or 12 hours off on the time, 9 something hours. So that creates a problem. So I'm guessing it'll probably be a video, and we transmit the video to them and they send one to us.
What about the teacher, the teacher program?
Oh, we've had almost a 30-year program with Cal State, where each year, depending on the need in Yokkaichi, we interview graduates to go to Yokkaichi and teach English immersion in the Yokkaichi classrooms. And the ones we choose, they're actually finally chosen by the Board of Education, but it's a full-time job for 2 years, pays well, but they're actually in the classroom. One of the more successful programs we've managed to maintain over the years. And it's international division at Cal State coordinates it. So it's, they do the hard work, we do the interviewing and prep them to go.
And I have to say that, you know, Yokkaichi is one, it is our oldest, actually, sister city. It's been on the books since 1963, but does an excellent job. I think any of the committees can look to Yokkaichi for programs because they've been doing them well for a long period of time. And good education for some of the newer sister cities and friendship cities to get on board with some of their proven programs.
Yeah. We have the advantage.
If I may
The
comment
Japanese
on that.
government is very, very strongly supportive of sister cities. So,
Yeah.
gee,
I mean, Mike, I oversee that program at Cal State Long Beach, and it works wonderfully. On the flip side of it, we also receive about 30 nursing students from Yokkaichi every year. And we train them here. They work with our hospitals in the local, area in the city. And that program has been going on almost 20 years.
Yes.
So it's been a very successful relationship that we have with that city.
Yes. Was it the doctor? What is it called? Doctor?
no, we have a physician exchange too.
Physician
In February,
exchange.
we bring 3 or 4 Japanese doctors over to Long Beach Memorial Hospital. And that's different than the nursing program, but
Okay.
Yeah, the one that we get in the university is the nursing program.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the good thing about the nursing program at the university is that they run it so well, we don't have to do very much. So,
Yes. Yes.
Is
That's
there a
the
way,
key.
We try our best. Yeah.
is there a way JIT can share that information with us so that
I
we
can,
can?
yeah. I can
see how-
send you information about both. And we have also started this training program for the English teachers who want to go overseas. And some of these graduates have been going to all different, cities as well. And certainly Yokkaichi is the longest running, in my view.
And I would encourage all of our new members to join a committee. You will find that you will learn a lot more about the inner workings of sister cities and actually what the committees are doing on a local people to people level. So it's a good thing. Now, committees meet monthly. Of course, I know y'all don't have a lot of time, but everybody can't make all the meetings, but it's a good education. It's a good education into sister cities. And we have 8 committees, 3 friendship cities and 5 sister cities. Men, I don't know why I'm seeing, maybe you guys are muting. I just see all these red microphones. But Min Tian is head of the Long Beach Taoyuan Sister City Formation Committee. Taoyuan. Taoyuan, Taiwan. So Min, I would like for you to, I did, and Lynn is on the phone too. Lynn is his right hand. And I'm hearing that that Taiwan is almost ready to submit their formal application to the board. So can we hear from you, Min? Let us know what's happening with the formation committee. Min? Min? Well, Lynn, are you there?
She's raised her hand.
I
Well,
see
Min
that,
Min
I
is there as well, and Lynn's microphone is muted.
I see her muted microphone. So Min, I don't know if you can hear us. We can't see or hear you. But if you can join us at some point in time before we end this meeting.
I'm here.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
Lynn, you want to tell us, you want to give us a report on the Taiwan formation?
Sure. But I have Min. Is Min? Are you there? We cannot hear Min, huh? Okay. Let me report what is updated. We have done most of the application. Right now we are collecting the letters. So I told our chairman that we will submit it by the end of July for our application. And for the COVID-19, I have asked Taoyuan City, I asked to give us some COVID-19 supply. So the first supply, they give us 6,000 gloves to give it to Long Beach. And the second supply will be face mask. I will call Phillips when it's arrived. And it's a relationship to build up. Mm-hmm.
Okay, fantastic. And I know that the formation committee has done several things last year, of course, with the dragon races, which they came in
Yes.
second place. They actually brought a team over.
Yes.
That was fantastic. And then some of you attended their chefs. They brought the chefs over from.
Yes, there was a chef Taiwan Taste of Taiwan event at
yes.
Current Hotel in Long Beach. Uh-huh.
Yes. So
it was fantastic, the foods. We were
Thank
there.
you. Yeah, we
didn't
were
make
hoping
that,
to get
unfortunately.
another dragon boat to come here, but because of the COVID-19, so
Yes.
we did not plan. Maybe next year.
Yes, the Dragon Boat team was absolutely fantastic. They were so ecstatic that they got second place, and it was really a pleasure to meet all of them and to have dinner with them. Okay.
Thank you.
We've got about a half an hour, you guys, at the most, or you're going to lose me. So under old business, let's talk about, I think the first thing we need to talk about is our Port of Long Beach grant. We have a task force that's been working on that in terms of developing a plan for the use of the funds. And we need to just kind of brief you on, the port has pledged $100,000 to sister cities to help us to gear up, to become more publicly, I think, visible, and to really do some positive and lasting things in Long Beach. So Mike, you want to report on the task force?
Yeah, I can just give a brief kind of overview. We've had about 2 or 3 meetings so far. Noah Hatagawa, who's on our board, is also from the port. So he's offered some very good advice. Couple of things. One is that we're concerned about reaching out to our community, how we can get more publicity and perhaps get a higher profile. The other issue that we pretty much in agreement on is the need for some administrative help, either part-time or whatever. Whether it would be someone either from the city or the port or someone independent, we really haven't come to a conclusion on. We've asked all of the sister cities to report to us on their activities and their budget and so forth. And I'm not sure, Phyllis, but I think only 4 responded.
We actually had 5. We had 4 sister cities and 1 friendship city.
Right.
And 3 of them we did not hear from.
Right.
Yes.
So the question gets to a point as to if the programs have to be vital. I mean, if we have funding that we can use to help promote our programs, we need to be sure that we have real committees running those programs. It can't be a one-person everything. My guess is that we're going to have to have better interaction with our individual committees. Other than that, the general consensus is that we need to coordinate with the city and the port to promote the interests of the city and the port. That's basically what Sister Cities is supposed to do. So we're looking for any type of ideas, plans from all the different programs. My understanding is that the allocation is $100,000, and you have to realize ordinarily the whole program, the whole Sister City runs probably on, a few $1,000s.
Right.
So it's not money that we can just wastefully spend. So we need to find good, hard projects and reasons and make it work so that we get some benefit out of it. So Phyllis started the grant proposal, and I think you sent that out yesterday. But we're going to have to get down to some hard numbers, hard dollars on things. So that's the next step.
Karen?
Yep, I attended the first meeting, or whatever it is we say nowadays, participated in the first meeting, and I was sorry I wasn't able to participate in the second one. But I read the document that Phyllis sent out, and Noel is sorry he couldn't participate in the meeting today, but I have talked with him. And I want to make a suggestion. The only real concrete thing in the proposal at this point, the draft of the proposal, is executive management services. And I think that would really help us if we had executive management services that would help us do the other things that we want to do.
Yes.
And, I know there's some conversation, could we get someone from the port or the city to do this? But I really feel like this should be our employee. Because if it's an employee of the port or if it's an employee of the city, then they don't work for us. So my suggestion at this point, and I think the port would be open to this, is if we could do a job description or a service description. I don't know if we're talking about an employee or a service. I've not actually done this myself. But if we could figure out what we want and about how many hours a week or a month it would take, that we come up with a budget amount for that, and that we ask the port for that to start. Because I know we're eager to get started, and I know the whole thing isn't fleshed out yet, but we don't have to the 100,000 is there, it's not going anywhere. But we don't have to give them the whole proposal at once. So if we said, and I'm just making this number up, if we said we want $50,000 to do this, and this is what will be accomplished, and this is the structure that we're thinking of, I think that would be fine, and that we could go ahead and get started on that we could have 2 tracks, that we could start on this process, which, as I said, would probably make it easier because we'd have someone who's paid and isn't a volunteer than to help us do the other things. The other, and I'm going to add this to this conversation, was, also the mayor had said that the port would be able to provide us some other resources as well. And that was not really defined. And so I talked to Noel today, and I talked to Bonnie Lowenthal, and I said, look, I want to get moving on this. I'm only with the mayor's office through the end of the month, and I want us to move ahead on this before I go. So I said, why don't we have a meeting? As some of you may know, I think Diane knows, that the port can only spend money on certain things. The port it has many state regulations in terms of what port resources and funds can be spent on. So I suggested that we have a meeting to talk about what resources, maybe personnel, expertise, could the port provide to sister cities that would be helpful in some of these other issues, like communications or grant writing. I don't know, I'm just saying these things right now. So we have a meeting. So there's a meeting set up on the 23rd with Noel and Bonnie and Richard Jordan, who's the chief of staff to the Harbor Commission. And I will participate from the mayor's office to say, let's talk about some things that the port has to offer that then we could say to Sister City, here's the kinds of things we can help you with. What is of interest to you? So we can get moving on this. So those are my thoughts. And that's my 2 cents, my recommendation of how to start getting some resources from the port and starting to move ahead.
Let me just say that's really timely because Mike, Mary, I think Mike had asked Mary to sort of work on that. Like, what does this mean, and what does this? How much money does this? What does this look like? And I had just responded that I think that's great, but also that we should probably develop a scope of work and put it out. Obviously, we don't want to do that until we, it was dangerous, and maybe you could address this. I had just said we shouldn't put anything out until we get some money, because unless we have a total guarantee, because once you start soliciting for services, you need to know that you've got the funds to complete the contract or the agreement. So that was just one of the conversations we had today.
One of the things, Sharon, as you were talking, very often in grants, there's X dollars put aside for planning, and then there's the next set of grants. So if there's 100,000 promised, and you know what the executive you could ask for, of that 100,000, we would like 25,000 up front as a planning grant, so that we can plan so that way you get started on the money, but it's clear that that's the planning aspect of the grant.
That makes sense. Okay. Mike, you want to?
Normal way to do, a lot of funders will do upfront planning and then follow up with dollars to implement.
That makes sense.
My only question about that is, the first question would be, how will you spend the 25,000? Because normally you're saying something like, we have this consultant coming, or we're spending staff time, or
you'd have to have it up front. You'd have to decide, right? Because I think I heard y'all saying that you needed an executive staff, and you have to figure out how much.
That would give us some comfort level. We could say that it was going all towards this agreement with whatever services person that we have. But at least we would know we had some money to execute that agreement.
You don't be nervous about that. You have the money. You don't have the money, but you have the commitment for the money. As Noel said to me today, he said, when the mayor says they have the money, they have the money. So
Sharon, I'm a government. I'm a city, state. I my whole career has worked for government, and I hear you. But I've been in situations where funds have been promised, and through no fault of anybody's or through circumstances beyond anybody's control, it just wasn't there. So
no, I hear you, and I'm saying I have great comfort that if we say to the port, we need executive management services. These are the things we want done. This is the structure we're going to use. And by that, I just mean, will it be an employee?
Yes.
Is it a service we're hiring? And this is how much it's going to cost. And I think they'd say, okay.
Okay. I think that's a great idea. Mike, you want to chime in on any of this?
Yeah. I think one thing we have to do that we've talked about and haven't done, we need to, at some point, figure out what Sister City Inc. does. That means, what actual things do we do? We file a tax return, we buy the insurance, but we need a list of things that we do. And from that, we could structure what we need in executive help.
Now, there's a general list in the proposal that I didn't specific, but general duties. General things that we could have that person do is in that draft.
Yeah, but I think we have to be specific.
I don't think we need to be any more specific than that.
Well, I think for our own purposes, we need to be specific.
Well, I think we're going to evolve into that. We don't really know. There are a lot of things we could be doing now that we don't do because we just don't have anybody to do them. So I'm sorry.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I think if we start with what we know we need, but we know that list is not going to be that compact, because I would love to Sister Cities have a newsletter, but we don't have anybody to do it. So it's not something that we do now, but it's something we could do. I would love for us to apply for grants from the state. There are some entities out there that we could probably get some money from, but we don't have anybody to do it. So we don't do it.
I think the list that Phyllis has put together under executive management services, I think that's specific enough. I think all that portion needs is how many hours a week, what's the structure, and how much money. I think, and then I think Mike's right in terms of what is it we do, and I think we need that for probably the rest of the issues, collaborative program, project development. I think Mike's right. But I think we could get started right away on executive management services if we just knew how much. Is it an employee or a service or a contract person? And how many hours a week? I think that's all we're missing from that portion to move ahead and make the request for the port and get started.
Who is that person, and do we have somebody in mind?
No, I think we need to put this out for a proposal. We're using public funds, and I mentioned that today too. We're using public funds. I don't think we can just go get somebody and contract with them. I think we need to let the community know, affirmatively market this, let the community know that that's what we're looking for, invite proposals to see what's out there, and then select from that. But we would need to get started on that for sure.
So there'd be a whole vetting process to find this person.
Well, just the proposal process, and it could be a short turnaround. I mean, I think Mary's already identified someone that she thinks would be appropriate, but we still need to do our due diligence, and we need to affirmatively market it.
And I do have to leave, unfortunately, by 7:30.
We're going to be done by 7:30. So
Okay. Okay. Because the one other thing is, I have asked the port if they can provide meeting space, and I'm hoping that we'll have that answer
on the agenda. Good.
Yes,
We don't
I
have
saw
to
it,
talk
and
about
I'm
that.
hoping we'll have that answer when I meet with them on this month on the 23rd.
Okay.
So I hope that we'll have a resolution for that by the time we can all meet again.
Okay.
So you can all
So,
meet again.
Mike, let's talk about, about fashioning it that way in terms of taking that little piece and moving forward and maybe doing a request for proposals and seeing what we get. I think there's a way too to structure it because there are a lot of things we don't know right now. And I know with a lot of contracts that I've done when I was with the city that you didn't quite know what you were getting into. You did it on a performance-based contract, not necessarily an hourly, because you did it. If we need this, for instance, if we need, I don't know, we can talk about what the end product is. How much would you charge us to produce this? Rather than how many hours would it take to produce this, but the performance-based means deliver this to us, and this is how much money we're going to pay you to deliver that to us. But we can talk about that. It's usually an easier way to fashion things rather than having people submit hourly billings and what they did every hour. But we can talk about that too. But see, again, we need to get our task force to come together on this in terms of how we want to proceed. And I have to say that.
Plug in and in here. You want to plug it in there or here? No, the battery on your computer. I know, but my plugged in the bedroom.
We're hearing all this noise. I think that's Richard. But Mike, Mike's done an excellent job of convening this committee and moving it forward. So I have no doubt that that's going to continue. But just let us know what you think about all of this.
Okay. Yeah, I think getting some seed money makes some sense. But I still think we've got to really get for ourselves, for our board, an analysis of what we do.
Okay.
Because, other than having meetings, we don't do a lot.
That's true.
And that's my concern. The work is done down in the associations.
Yes.
So we don't want to spend, if we have 100,000, whatever, we don't want to spend all the money having meetings when the programs need financial support.
Well, I think SCLB could be a lot more than it is. I think instead of looking at what we do, we need to look at the potential of what we could do.
I agree.
Yeah.
But we can't even get reports from our associations to put on our website.
I know.
So, maybe, it's probably not the right time, but we may need to restructure from top to bottom.
I'm guessing if we had money to give them for programming, we could get their reports.
I think you're right.
You're probably right there. Yeah.
Dangle little stuff, yeah. Well, okay, so we'll push on that, but we're gonna have a task force meeting, I think, soon, and we can talk about that. We've got less than 15 minutes, so let me just thank you for mentioning the permanent meeting location, because we will need that. I want to talk just a minute about C-RISE collaboration, because I think that that's an issue that we can immediately connect with a port on. All of our sister cities are seaport cities. Everybody's got a port, and C-RISE is going to affect every single one of our sister cities. And if we can work with the port to do something to involve our sister cities, collaboration with information, I don't know what necessarily, but I should be done or could be done, but I think we ought to get in front of the issue with the port and do some real positive things about C-RISE. So for sea level rise, it's becoming a really, in fact, I'm working on a project now with my consulting company with a company out of Alaska. John, I'm working with John. There's a city in Alaska called Kivalina, Alaska, which is, when you look at the map, when you see those little trailing islands that kind of go all the way down, they're the last one down. And by 2023, Kivalina will be totally underwater. And we're working, Kivalina they're going to have to relocate the entire city. So John with Camp Water has been working with them to keep them with clean water. They're hunting. They've had traditionally years of the way they hunt on the ocean that has totally been ripped apart by sea level change. So this is something that's real. This is something that's real. So I think we have an opportunity to get ahead and to do something with the port about this issue. So I will be pushing that. And then our 2020 YAS program, I wanted to mention this because Griselda's gone. We just, because of the closure of the schools, the timing was terrible. And so we didn't get any response to our YAS. But, and I'm not sure what Sister Cities International got. I've been trying to find out how that program fared internationally. I haven't been able to get any results from that. But our partners are still together, and we're looking to do something, maybe virtually, maybe even switch the focus, maybe do something citywide, having the kids talk about their experiences through COVID-19 or lockdown or whatever. But we're working on it. New business, nominating committee and slate of office. Oh, any questions on any of that? Okay, we have a nominating committee report. Richard? Richard, we can't hear you. Your mic is muted.
Is that better?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to plug in my computer. My battery was gone and it kind of screwed everything up. Okay, so Phyllis has agreed. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Phyllis,
Yes.
yes. Phyllis has done a marvelous job. I think we all agree with that. She's agreed to be president again in the upcoming year. And I'd like to offer her.
Did I do that? Did I say yes?
I thought it was your idea. Just kidding. Okay, and then Mike likewise has agreed to be treasurer again. Richard, I sent 2 emails to you to ask you if you wanted to continue as vice president. Is that something you want to do?
All right. I did not get your email. Richard, I am sorry, I didn't get it.
Okay, no, I sent it out to the whole nominating committee. I've been vice president and president 2 or 3 times, and I think I would be willing to step in if you don't want to do it, but I would love for you to do it.
I was going to say, if you like to, please do. Then I will step back. Please
see what we go through, you guys, just to get leadership.
We can do that. Richard, why don't you go ahead and step in? I'll step back in case.
Let's do this. Is there someone on the meeting now that would assume the role of vice president. I mean, it's not like we have a lot. We meet quarterly, even though I'd love to change that because I think we're getting into some things that we might need to meet more often, or at least have committees that meet more often. But if there's someone who wants to do that, be vice president of Sister Cities Long Beach, speak up now or forever hold your peace.
Well, I also asked Mary, and Mary wasn't interested in doing it. And Diane and I have been kind of missing each other boats, and I was kind of wanting her wisdom as well, but we've kind of missed phone calls.
That wasn't by accident. She just
Or was that purposeful?
No, I have my hands full.
I know you do, Diane. So, and then as secretary, I asked Anya to be secretary, and initially she thought she could do it. And do you want to comment, Anya, and what's going on for you?
We see what's going on in her lap.
Yeah.
You can see what's going on in her life.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think with the the current situation, working from home and kids, and it just has to be a bit much at this time. Yeah.
Well, guys, don't be shy. I mean, I actually think that we have an opportunity to do some really demonstrative things this year. And I'm kind of excited about the possibilities. And I think we should be jumping on the bandwagon to make things happen. So that's my thoughts.
Well, you're certainly empowering. Thank you very much. Well, does this decision have to be made in this meeting, Phyllis?
Well, our bylaws require us to elect officers at this meeting for the next year.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think we're going to have to vote on a slate, and hopefully there won't be any missing. I guess we could have a missing appointee or missing person in a particular category, but we're going to have to vote on whatever's there. So if you want to leave that position as vacant for the purposes of our vote and keep working on it, that's an option.
Cynthia, would you be willing to take the role as secretary despite you just coming on board?
Your mic.
Your mic is off.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, no, not for secretary.
Okay.
Well, vice president, maybe.
The secretary, I just do not do notes and all those kinds of things. So I'm going to be like the worst secretary you've ever encountered. So, we all know our giftings and our shortcomings, and that is for sure a shortcoming of mine.
Okay. Well, I'd be willing to take that position, and then we can continue to seek a new secretary if that would work as a slate.
Okay. Let's vote on that slate, and we'll have the secretary is being absent or unfilled until our next meeting. We've got 3 months to work on it.
Okay.
Anybody else want to comment on that?
Nope, let's vote.
So would you just repeat the slate so that everybody knows what we're doing?
Phyllis would continue as president. I would be vice president, and Mike would be the treasurer. And then we would continue to seek a secretary.
Okay. So can I get a motion to approve that slate?
I do.
Okay, can we get a second on that? Okay, Sharon?
Second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded that we approve the slate of officers for 2021. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All opposed? Nay. Okay, the ayes have it. Thank you, Richard, for your effort. And hopefully we can get on the phone and make some phone calls and see what we can dig up.
Well, perhaps one of the new person that comes on board would be willing to be secretary.
Well, understand this, and Mike, thank you. I want to thank Mike for reminding me of this. The person who serves on the executive committee of the corporation does not have to be a member of the board. It can be a member of one of your committees. It can be someone from your committee. Elvira, perhaps, you know, it could be Elvira, it doesn't have to be
Oh, okay.
a
Mhm.
member of this board. They should be a member of a Sister Cities committee, but they don't have to be a member of the board.
Maybe we'll make that one of the duties of the executive if we hire one.
That could be.
Yes.
I like that. Come to the meeting.
Mike,
and
that's
take
that's
minutes.
an excellent idea, Mike.
Yes,
Yep.
I love it. I love
And the
it.
secretary would review the minutes.
Yes. Okay. That makes
Excellent
sense.
idea.
I have
Makes
one
sense.
other thing, Phyllis. I filled out and returned the application for the insurance. Our insurance is renewed
That's
in
right.
September, so we're just waiting on the premium charge on that.
Okay. And of course, we're not sure because the makeup of our board has changed. So we don't know if that's going to affect our insurance, and I would think not. But
I
we
don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the virus will be the big determiner.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have another quick question. I have a question about DBA because this is something that we need to apply for, but I know I talked to Mike and it seems like DBA is going to expire for all of the sister cities. Is there a plan to apply all together or should we just proceed and apply separately?
Now, I think ours is 5 years. I don't think we're expiring yet.
We
That's
did
what
them. When did, I know they're all, every sister city has to be, so it has to be an independent DBA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sister City Inc. is a parent, but we have to file separately. If you will send me an email and remind me tomorrow, there's an email service that will do everything for $150.
Yes.
It's a lot easier.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's an individual, and I think they'll also notify you when it's expiring, so you could renew it. So, but I'll check on Mombassa's DPA.
Yeah.
Michelle, I don't think we're expiring yet. I don't think we've had ours for about 2 or 3 years. So, okay, 7/29. Our next meeting is on September 10th at 6 o'clock, and I assume it's still going to be Zoom. And are there any announcements before we adjourn?
I just want to say, you know, as I've said, I leave the mayor's office at the end of this month. So he will be appointing someone else from his office to serve on the board. And I believe that decision will be made by June 30th. I'm sorry, I can't tell you yet who it is. And I will still work with all of you in my new role as a harbor commissioner, but I just wanted to say how much I've enjoyed working with you. My second time around for Sister Cities. I feel like we have a way to go, but I feel like we've come a long way. And each of you has been so, as always, kind and friendly. I just didn't want the meeting to end without my expressing my gratitude for having the opportunity to work with all of you. And like I said, I'm not going to disappear, but I wanted to say that.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you, Sharon.
Yes.
Thank you.
And congratulations. Congratulations, Sharon.
Thank you for all the assistance
Thank
you
you.
provided us over the years. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, any other announcements? Okay, stay safe, and we'll see you in September.
Perfect.
Not before.
Thank you very much.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
The little boys.
Bye.